What's good, chat? Very big video on I'm not gonna say the GOAT. I was gonna say the GOAT. This is not my GOAT. Very big figure. We got a video on Mencho. We got the most dangerous cartel leader was taken down. Very recent, very recent, and like very explosive news. Yeah, it's always gonna prefer a little light. I'm gonna let our journalists take it away, man. Trust him, trust the sources. See what we talking about. You know what I'm saying? As always, the main man slide onto your timeline and provide you some content. Without further ado, slide right in.
The most violent cartels in modern history, Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes, aka El Mencho. And you see, El Mencho wasn't no ordinary cartel boss. Let me put it to you like this. His group, the CJNG, was worth $50 billion. You know how much crime you gotta do to make $50 billion? So the United States and Mexico, how much crime?
That aside, you know how much crime you have to do to get a bounty on your head of 10 million USD? This ain't one piece.
You gotta do to make $50 billion? So the United States and Mexico had a problem. They got together. They said, now El Mencho doing too much.
You don't really want to say that next thing you dragged out your house. What? You don't really want to say that next thing you dragged out your house. I just said he has a bounty. I said he has a bounty. You know, don't send up black trucks, you know what I'm saying?
United States said, so Mexico, let us know what he be doing down there. Mexico said, well, for starters, he be selling that stuff. The United States said, well, of course. Where he be coming to? Texas, California. Mexico said, no, he be selling all over the world. He be in Africa, he be in China, he worldwide with it. United States said, $50 billion. Yeah, that makes sense. Mexico said, yeah, and don't get mad. But he also be stealing oil. The United States said, what y'all need? The CIA, the FBI? We got to put aside our differences. The United States and Mexico locked in. But CIA this, CIA that.
Not suck as in we're bad at it. We suck as in like that's our weak spot, bro. Sucker punch prone.
Mencho was not going to be easy to capture because you're not listening. I said $50 billion. This man basically had his own private military. They even got their names on their uniform. They weren't hiding about it. I got to blur out half this picture. That man had an RPG. And they weren't afraid to use their too. In fact, that's what makes it so tough to take out cartel bosses because of retaliation. It's basically the threat of you mess with us, we burning it all down. But that does not mean Mexico has not been trying. They've been trying for many, many years to capture El Mencho. But every time Mexico...
Not to mention with the amount of like troops it has, it's like, even his like, it's like he's Sakuna, bro. Even a grunt is like finger grade level. And it's like, you mess with the wrong, push him, it's like, you can't really do much. And it's like, if you want to capture the head boss, with his ability now, it's like, what are you going to do? Like, even if you break past the ability, you can just run, and you're like stuck there for at least a little bit.
Upset, El Mencho doubles it. They sent the police after El Mencho. They caught one of his people. And Mencho said, okay, then we're going to catch the police. So El Mencho's group, the CJNG, were blocking roads and police officers. The Mexican government said, okay, so we're going to send the army. El Mencho said, bet, I'm going to send the army too. It's just going to be my army. El Mencho started rocket launching army helicopters out the sky. The United States said, damn, how about we try this our way? You see, if there's one thing you got to know about the United States is that...
My GOAT, John Kiraku. The problem is this implies that us trying our best, this implies, forget all that. This implies like, well, it doesn't imply, but it kind of puts into perspective how much power we have, like militant wise. I'm not gonna.
Prides itself in gathering intelligence. And what that looks like a lot of times is finding out a target's weakness. In El Mencho's case, it was a woman. Now, people aren't exactly sure if it's this woman, but you get the point. So the United States CIA said, look, he got a girl, let's follow her around. And here's where things start to get wicked. They start following her around. She go to the store.
She wearing a uniform though. That means she's dedicated to the cause.
They go to the store. She go to the laundromat. They go to the laundromat. She go and visit El Mencho. They go and visit El Mencho. And now it's time for our story break. Look, if you're dealing with random...
Not happening, big bro. Not my cup of tea, man.
Free overdraft and more. Now back to our story. El Mencho's girl just kept going to this place in Mexico called Tapalpa. They said, Tapalpa? Ain't nothing in Tapalpa. Or is there? So they gather up the whole crew. They gather up the army. They gather up the police force. And they start rolling deep. It was off to Tapalpa. But the road started getting blocked and all that. They said, we getting close. More roads blocked by burning cars. The CJNG was trying to slow down the Mexican forces. But not this time. The Mexican forces blitzed through and found El Mencho in a compound with his army. And a firefight ensued. It was like a scene out of a movie. Explosions, RPGs going off,
Boom,
army
boom,
versus
boom.
army.
Blasting.
Eventually, when the dust settled, the Mexican army took El Mencho into custody. But he had a lot of injuries. And as they were trying to transfer him, he got from his injuries. And well, as the Mexican government feared, the CJNG said, well, you mess with us, we're burning it down. So the CJNG went on a spree of burning down cars, blocking roads, just causing chaos in Mexico.
It's like, it's not only that they're militant, they have like too much firepower at their disposal too. It's like, it's beyond just political. It's like they have political, physical, they have every type of power you could imagine, bro.
25 Mexican National Guard members were. Yeah, the retaliation was real. But Mexico, as always, continues to stand strong and is putting up a hard fight against cartels. As for El Mencho's legacy, the CJNG, his cartel group, people are worried about the power vacuum that has now arisen since El Mencho was.
This is the biggest problem with, like, when people are like, why doesn't Batman slay Joker and them? This is why, bro. Power vacuum is going to be left. Who's going to fill it? And then when you got crazy people, bro, that power gap is not filled, or like, not power gap, more of like power vacuum. That's not filled with normal niggas, bro. That's filled with niggas that might invest the entire city with bed bugs or termites for pure love of the game. I don't want no parts, bro.
People have no idea who's going to take over where. El Mencho's son, who would have been a favorite to take over, is actually in custody by the United States. The Mexican government captured him a few years back and sent him to the U.S. So that leaves El Mencho's inner circle and close family. People are worried that a couple people are going to go at it because remember, $50 billion is what El Mencho's group was worth. When you're talking about $50 billion, yeah, people are going to be very desperate to try to lead that organization. I want you to take a look at this map. It shows how much influence El Mencho's group, the CJNG, had. Let me show you a quick, easy way to read this map. You see this little gray space right here? That's the only part of Mexico that the CJNG didn't have influence over. Everywhere else in this map basically means their territory. And remember, their influence is also worldwide. Africa, China. I saw a shirt that said CJNG for Africa. Like their organization was an organization. They made t-shirts. You see, really what I'm trying to have you understand is somebody's going to want to take over that group. And if there's a war within the CJNG to take over that group, it can get really, really violent. Remember, they have military arms. But there's something else that made the CJNG dangerous. It's the fact that El Mencho was a centralized leader. El Mencho basically held all of the power in its cartel, and that could be a very dangerous thing. Basically, it's kind of like this. A lot of people may know the name El Chapo, who is the leader of the Sinaloa Cartel. In El Chapo's case, in the Sinaloa Cartel, it was like a federation. There were so many powerful families under the Sinaloa Cartel. When El Chapo was taken down, the Sinaloa Cartel basically split into these different families. You see, under a federation, if things split, things can split. It's like if the United States, for some reason, decides to split into 50 states, everyone would just go their own way. But in El Mencho's case, he was basically like the king of his cartel. That means winner.
It stays together, but it's like it stays together under someone's power. For now, it's a respect of our king who is missing, but we have to find someone to replace him or else what he built might fall.
Takes all. Whoever leads that cartel has everything. There ain't no powerful factions. The king rules the country. The king rules the country. It don't split. But to make matters worse, let's say for some reason, even if El Mencho's group, the CJNG, disappears, that's going to leave a power vacuum in itself. So other cartel groups that are still in Mexico are going to want that number one spot as well. So much money is made with people selling that stuff. It always seems like there is a group that pops in every few years that takes over the entire landscape. Basically, as long as there's a massive amount of money to be made, there's always going to be somebody out there that wants to make that money. So it's just a very, very tough situation when it comes to cartels and Mexico. So people are keeping a very close eye on the CJNG and seeing how the power divides amongst them. But either way, I hope the best for the citizens of Mexico and hope this.
Hey, man. Yeah, see that lack of intro, he almost called me. Appreciate y'all for watching. As always, make sure you stay happy, healthy, hydrated. Catch you in the next. Peace.